Our sales communication process stands on four important pillars. One, you get to understand the sales process, the communication process, the pull factors of sales communication, and the push factors of sales communication. The success of every business ultimately rests on the shoulder of your sales processes. Business Growth Summit 101 in 2023 will give you the blueprint on how to build and apply this sales communication process to truly optimize the growth and cash flow potential of your business. So, we encourage you to join us on a daily basis and learn how to apply these practical tools to growing and scaling your brands. To recognize that there are right and wrong ways to start your business. One of the things that we see is that there are a number of rising stars in business that start their operation without truly understanding the cost of running a business. It is necessary for you to have a clear picture in terms of what is your cash flow projection, what is the expenditure projection, and more so, what is your cash flow game plan. In the absence of this body of knowledge, you are likely to struggle in business. But there's hope. I'm happy to say that we at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have built a very unique business ecosystem that enables you to understand the real cost of running your business. So we encourage you to reach out to us now to learn more of the best steps that you can take to win in business. Based business can give you a tremendous competitive advantage. Why? You're able to access a very large market in excess of 333 million consumers. You're able to access technology, and also you're able to access a diversified financial portfolio, meaning debt, equity, credit, creative financing, and hard money lending. We at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have started this signature project titled the Business Growth Summit 101 that will give you a step-by-step guide in terms of how to start a US business, how to scale that US-based business, and how to cash flow from a position of strength. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis as we take you through this journey of starting and scaling your business. Welcome to another broadcast of Business Growth Summit 101. Today promises to be another exciting day. I have two dynamic personalities in the studio today. I have Jay Thompson, and he will be talking to us today about credit card fundamentals. And there's so much for us to talk about on this particular topic. I also have Shakira. She is a real estate consultant, and we will be talking about real estate investment. And of course, the main course for today, the main topic for today, we will be looking at self-confidence and the sales communication process. This is really taking that deep dive into the sales communication process. And of course, if you have a business and you want to position that business to be successful, taking the time to understand the sales communication process is so important. So today we will do a high level overview of these three subject areas. And I trust that you stay with us. You enjoy the program. You can call a friend who's in business and get prepared to be, truly transformed with the information that we are going to present to you. So without further delay, I'm going to invite Jade up to the stage. Hi, Jade Thompson. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's a tremendous pleasure to be here with you today. So today we're going to be talking about credit cards and fundamentals. And I know you asked us to talk about this topic because of the facts surrounding debt and credit In the United States of America today, we see that millions of people are buying debt, but millions of people are struggling to exit that debt portfolio. The information that we're going to talk about is specific to credit cards, but I know the information can help people to make a better decision in terms of how to use credit cards. A couple of things before I start my talk with you. A credit card is necessary and useful because it gives you financial leverage. It's a way out of poverty when you know how to use a credit card. It's also a way to acquire immense wealth. So we'll look at some of that today. So, Jay, without further delay, I want to ask you, when we look at the credit card fundamentals, what are some of those uh, concepts that people should understand about the credit card fundamentals?
All right, so there are five systems that makes up the credit card fundamentals. One, it talks about the importance of your statement. It talks about the importance of understanding your balance. It talks about understanding your billing cycle and the open and close dates. It talks about the due date, and it also talks about the minimum due. And I believe that these key fundamentals are very, very important when it comes to leveraging your personal credit.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's begin by looking. Jed, I agree with what you said. Let us begin by looking at the statement. Uh, the statement, I recognize that many persons struggle with the statement because every so often when we're interfacing with persons with the interest of helping them to mitigate credit debt, we find that they don't really understand the statement. So let's begin by looking at the statement. I mean, what is there in the statement that is important for the consuming public, and this is over 90 million persons, to understand about the statement?
All right, so that's a pretty good question, and I believe that your statement it is very, very important because this is the first thing that you get when you apply for a credit card. But the thing is, most people they don't know how to read the statement. Over 53% of people they don't know how to read your statement. And on your statement, there are three things that you want to be aware of or you want to understand. One, you want to understand your credit line. You want to understand your credit utilization, and you want to understand your credit line remaining balance. And I want to talk about these three briefly. What exactly is your credit line? Your credit line is the amount of money that is available for you to spend on your credit card. Next is your credit utilization, and this is the amount of money that you're utilizing on your credit card. But you want to be aware that you want to be your utilization to be below a specific percentage. But later into this program, I'll be going into that a little bit more. And last, you want to understand your credit line remaining balance. And this is also important because this tells you how much money is remaining on your credit card or how much that you have remaining to spend on the credit card.
All right, thanks for that information. You also mentioned balance. Can we talk a little bit about the balance? Because again, we see many persons struggle when they look at that statement to have the clearest of understanding of what the balance represents. Can we talk about that?
All right, that's no problem. So the balance is also very important. But most people they get confused when they hear the term balance because there are two types of balances. One there is the outstanding balance and there is the remaining balance. And these two balances are very important because what exactly is the outstanding balance? This is the amount of money that you have owed on your credit card. And next is the remaining balance. And this is the amount of money that you have remaining to spend on your credit card.
All right, thank you. So there is the outstanding balance and the remaining balance. And in most cases, when they are looking at that card, they are not able to predetermine whether they are looking at the outstanding or the remaining. Right.
Exactly.
The next concept that you spoke about is the billing cycle. Uh, can we talk a little bit about what is the billing cycle? I know the billing cycle also represents open and close date, but let's look at the billing cycle before we come to the open and close date.
Alright, no problem. So, what exactly is the billing cycle? The billing cycle is a monthly cycle that is used to generate your FICO score. And guess what? Your FICO score is generated by the credit bureaus such as Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And this is why the balance or the billing cycle is very, very important.
Okay, so the billing cycle really helps you to understand the monthly cycle that is used to generate a report, and that report is generated, as you said, by Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These are the credit bureaus that really take that sneak peek into your utilization of the credit card and generate that report. So that was very good information. Now, what exactly is the open date?
Or the open date. This is also very important because this tells you when you should start spending or using your credit card. And that is what the open date basically means.
And I believe that this is something that people need to be aware of because I think that most people have a card and they just spend. There is no concept about truly understanding the billing cycle. What is the close date? Can you explain the close date?
All right, so the close date is the opposite of the open date because the close date it tells you when to stop spending or to stop using your credit card.
Thank you. So there is this window, open and close dates, which is the best time to spend and
Exactly.
when to stop spending. And I guess as you go into the other area of credit card, which is the five credit card builders, you will help us to understand this a little bit more. Now, you mentioned due date. What can we take away from the term due date?
All right, so the due date is very important too because this tells you when to carry down your balance to $0 to avoid interest and the balance carried over. And I believe that as you're able to bring down your balance before the due date, you won't have no balance carried over or no interest.
This is interesting because what you're saying here, if you're able to bring down the outstanding balance to zero by the due date, there's two things. There's no interest, there's no balance carried over, and there's a third thing. There's no interest.
Exactly.
Interesting. You mentioned also the minimum balance due. Can you expand on this?
All right, no problem. So the minimum due is the least amount of money you can spend to avoid late payments and the regulatories from reporting on your credit card or your FICO score.
Thank you. Thank you. And what I think happens a lot is that most people they fall into the trap of paying the minimum balance due. And when they pay the minimum balance due, it comes back to the due date because you will have a balance carried over. And if
Exactly.
you have a balance carried over, it's accrued interest immediately after that due date. Wow. So there's so much. There's so much, I really love that. All right, Jade, what we'll do, we'll go for a short break and then we'll come back and look at the five credit card builders.
All right, no problem.
Our sales communication process stands on four important pillars. One, you get to understand the sales process, the communication process, the pull factors of sales communication, and the push factors of sales communication. The success of every business ultimately rests on the shoulder of your sales processes. Business Growth Summit 101 in 2023 will give you the blueprint on how to build and apply this sales communication process to truly optimize the growth and cash flow potential of your business. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis and learn how to apply these practical tools to growing and scaling your brands. Starting a US based business can give you a tremendous competitive advantage. Why? You're able to access a very large market in excess of 333 million consumers. You're able to access technology, and also you're able to access a diversified financial portfolio, meaning debt, equity, credit, creative financing, and hard money lending. We at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have started this signature project titled the Business Growth Summit 101 that will give you a step-by-step guide in terms of how to start a US business, how to scale that US-based business, and how to cash flow from a position of strength. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis as we take you through this journey of starting and scaling your business. Recognize that there are right and wrong ways to start your business. One of the things that we see is that there are a number of rising stars in business that start their operation without truly understanding the cost of running a business. It is necessary for you to have a clear picture in terms of what is your cash flow projection, what is the expenditure projection, and more so, what is your cash flow game plan. In the absence of this body of knowledge, you are likely to struggle in business. But there's hope. I'm happy to say that we at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have built a very unique business ecosystem that enables you to understand the real cost of running your business. So we encourage you to reach out to us now to learn more of the best steps that you can take to win in business. Okay, welcome back to the Business Growth Summit 101. And today we are discussing credit card fundamentals. Jade is the speaker. He is a subject matter expert in branding and marketing. He's also pursuing studies in investment banking. So he is definitely digging in deep to ensure that he has quality information to help people to make informed decision as it relates to financial management. Jed, I want to move straight into the second part of this program. There is a number of concepts that we look at when we are looking at the term the credit card builders. There are things like payment history, utilization ratio, length of credit history, mix of account, new accounts. I want you to walk us through this entire process so the listening public they have a better understanding of what all of these means in terms of the credit card utilization, the credit card experience. What can one take away from credit history? What exactly does this mean?
All right, so the payment history is very important because this makes up 35% of what is reported on your credit score. And your payment history is a track record that just shows you how well or how poorly you're managing your credit card debts. And you also want to make sure that you are paying on time, because if you don't pay on time, derogatory remarks will show up on your credit reports, and this will bring down your credit score automatically. And you don't want to be bringing down your credit score. You want to aim for that 850 credit score.
All right, great. Thanks for the answer. In terms of utilization ratio, can we talk a little bit about the utilization ratio?
All right, no problem. So the utilization ratio makes up 30% of what is reported on your credit score. And what exactly is your utilization ratio? This is how you're utilizing your credit card, and it is very, very important because you want to make sure that your utilization is below 30% before the close date. Because if your utilization is below 30%, then it will show the credit bureaus that you can leverage your credit card responsibly and you are credit card responsible. So this will bring up your credit score and to raise your credit score. But if your utilization is above 30%, then this will show the credit bureaus like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. It will show them that you're not leveraging your credit card effectively and you have no credit card responsibility. And this will automatically bring down your credit score.
Wow, so there's so much more to credit card leverage than meets the eye. So thanks for that information. So let's talk now about the length of credit history. Um, what does this really mean?
All right, so the length of credit history makes up 15% of what is reported on your credit score. And your length of credit history is the age of your accounts. And you want to make sure that you have a long amount of credit history. But the longer your credit cards are opened and is leveraged effectively, then the better your credit score will be. And what we see is that they are new credit card owners. They may not have the right amount of credit history. So I'll give you a tip right now. If you want to increase your length of credit history, you can become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. And what this means is that you find probably a close family member or a close friend, and you um, piggyback off of their credit score. And what happens here? This is where you're able to take their credit score, and that is how you're able to build the length of credit history faster.
Okay, so that's a hack. There's a way to build up credit history, regardless of if you're a new user or not. Thanks for
Yes.
that tip. Now, the other concept that was mentioned is the credit mix. Um, what exactly is the credit mix?
All right. So what I want to say is that the mix of accounts or credit mix makes up 10% of what is reported on your credit score. And these are the types of accounts that are on your credit score. For example, it could be multiple credit cards, it could be vehicle loans, or it could be mortgages. And this is very important too.
Okay, I guess we can add into that things like student loans and as part of that process.
Exactly.
All right, perhaps credit card trade unions and credit unions, they can also add to that mix. All right, thanks for that share. Now, you would have mentioned the last point, which is new accounts. Can we talk about new accounts?
All right. So this is the last credit card builders of the five credit card builders. And this is the new accounts makes up 10% of what is reported on your credit score. And the new accounts are the new credit cards that you're opening. But what we see is that new credit card owners, they may apply for a credit card, but they get excited, so they apply for more, but not knowing that this is affecting their credit score. So what you want to be doing is you want to apply for one credit card and you want to leverage it for 3 to 4 months. And when that life cycle goes by, you can apply for next credit card for and then leverage it and apply for next card for next 3 to 4 months. And these are the five credit card builders that you should learn, apply, and master to build your credit score.
Wow, that was very powerful information in terms of credit card usage. I just want to add a couple of things more to what you would have said, Jed, because while I recognize that the utilization ratio should be below 30%, what I want to add there is that everything that Jade said here is absolutely correct. But I want to just give a slight different information here based on the fact that if you do not know how to leverage your credit card, you should ensure at all times that your credit utilization is below 30%. But here this hack. If you understand how to use a credit card, guess what? You can max it out. But you need to take every single thing that Jay just spoke about into consideration. You need to take the time to understand things like your statement, the billing cycle, open and close date, due dates, and mix of account. You need to understand exactly what all of this means. When you understand this, you can leverage it to your advantage. But if you do not understand it, believe me, you will definitely fall into hot water. I want to talk a little bit more about credit because credit is something that can help in transforming human lives and contributing to economic development. And I say this based on a lot of facts, and I can call a number of names. I can call names like Robert Kiyosaki. He is one guy who was able to leverage credit cards to his advantage. He wanted to become a real estate investor. He didn't have the disposable income to do the things that he wants to do. So what he did, he built up his FICO score and started to leverage that into income producing asset through his credit card. So there's tremendous possibilities here. It gives you financial leverage. I also believe that the proper credit card usage is a gateway out of poverty. It is the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to accessing capital, the lowest hanging fruit. With your SSN, place of address, telephone number, you are well on your way in starting to build personal credit, building up your FICO score. So there's tremendous possibilities here. As I keep saying, you want to switch very quickly from your FICO into your PAYDEX. We look at that, Jed. We'll look at that at another date. Thirdly, I want to say that credit, uh, because of all the two things I've just mentioned, it is a gateway to build enormous wealth. It is a gateway to build enormous wealth. And I just want to reflect a little bit on American history. In American history, we have seen those responsible credit card users, they were taking these lines of credit and they were investing into stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. They were investing into smart income producing assets. And I'm saying if you have a right team of people around you that can really help you to make informed and educated decisions around how to access credit cards and how to leverage and mitigate this entire process, you're well on your way to positioning yourself to build wealth. With that being said, I want to thank Jed tremendously, a young, talented, rising star in business, for taking the time to share his knowledge and with us on credit cards fundamental. Thanks, Jed.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so what I will do now, I will go to a short commercial break and I will bring up another dynamic person, and her name is Shakira. And Shakira is a real estate investor among so many other things. Dr. Shakira. So stay tuned and you're going to hear from her. She's going to give you some hacks in terms of getting into real estate investment. Our sales communication process stands on four important pillars. One, you get to understand the sales process, the communication process, the pull factors of sales communication, and the push factors of sales communication. The success of every business ultimately rests on the shoulder of your sales processes. Business Growth Summit 101 in 2023 will give you the blueprint on how to build and apply this sales communication process to truly optimize the growth and cash flow potential of your business. So, we encourage you to join us on a daily basis and learn how to apply these practical tools to growing and scaling your brands. Welcome back to another episode of Business Growth Summit 101. Today I have a very dynamic personality in studio. Her name is Shakira, And of course, she is a subject matter expert in real estate investment. And today she will be talking to us about real estate investment and how to get into the game, how to get your feet wet. Welcome, Shakira.
Thank you. Thank you for
Dr.
having me.
Shakira,
Yes, thank you for having me.
it's always my pleasure. So I now yield the mic to you, all to you.
Okay. First, I'd like to say, Jed, that was an excellent job. Very good information, very important information. Um, and then, Gary, how great of a leader you are, a great leader. So, I am a real estate investor. My name is Shakira, and what I do is I help you build wealth through real estate investing. And I'm going to talk to you today briefly about the three ways that you can buy property at a lower mortgage rate. Now, why is the rate important? So, the rate is something that you should be paying attention to. If the rate is high, that means that you're going to be paying a higher monthly mortgage. And so, why would you pay a higher monthly mortgage when you can pay a lower monthly mortgage? So, that's the reason why you pay attention to the rate. You're looking for a lower rate, and there are three ways to buy property at a lower rate. So, the first way is credit score. And so that's why what Jed was talking about was so important. Credit score. They are looking at your credit score. So if your credit score is not up to par, they're going to charge you more. You're going to be paying a higher monthly mortgage and you're going to be paying a higher down payment. So, say for instance, you have a conventional loan and you're paying 20%. So, if your credit score is not up to par, they're going to say, well, let me charge you more than 20%. Let me charge you 25%. So those are the reasons why you look at your credit score and why your credit score is so important. So one way to buy property at a lower rate is by having a good credit score. So for instance, if you were to go for a FHA loan, a 650 to 700 credit score would give you the best rates. If you were to go for a conventional loan, a 740 to 760 would give you the best rates. So, the better your credit score, the better rates you're going to get. So, that is the one way to bring down your rate is paying attention to your credit score and making sure that it is as high as possible. Okay, so that is the one way, paying attention to your credit score. Now, the second way is what is called a 2 by 1 buy down. And what that is a seller concession. So essentially, what that is the seller is paying down this rate. It's a 2 by 1 buy down. So you get a seller concession. So, for example, say you were to have an FHA loan at a rate of 5.5%. How a seller concession works, this 2 by 1 buy down, how that works. So the first year that it would be a 3.5%. The second year, it would be 4.5%. And then the third year, it would be at the 5.5%. So it would be more affordable those first couple of years. So this is what is called a 2 by 1 buy down. That's how the 2 by 1 buy down works. Now, when you're going for property, it's important to make sure that you get a fixed rate, not a variable rate, but a fixed rate. So that is the second way, the 2 by 1 buy down, and your seller is essentially buying this rate down. Oh, the third way is to buy down points. And so, what is a point? So, 1 point, for example, would be 1% of the loan amount. So, say, for example, I'm going to give a hypothetical price. You have a $500,000 home. So, this is just hypothetical $500,000 home. So they charge you 1 point, which is 1% of that total loan. So they're charging you $5,000. But you don't realize this because on your paper, it says 1 point. It doesn't say $5,000. So just recognizing that 1 point means 1% of the total loan amount. So they could be charging you 1 point, they could be charging you 2 points, they could be charging you 3 points, but you can buy down your points And you can do that by two ways. You can pay with cash out of your own pocket to buy down those points, or you can use again the seller concession where the seller is buying down your points. But just recognizing what the points are is important because, like I said before, you'll just see the 1 point or the 2 point or the 3 point, but you won't necessarily realize that this is thousands of dollars that they are charging you. So these are the three ways to buy property at a lower rate. Again, number one is paying attention to your credit score, making sure that is the highest as possible. Number two option is the 2 by 1 buy down. And then the third option is you can buy down points. All right. So again, my name is Shakira. I'm a real estate investor and I help you build wealth through real estate investing. To learn more, you can go to pitchdeck101.org. And passing it back to you, Gary.
Wow, that was so much of gems that you dropped. But taken from that body of knowledge that you would have dropped, the gems you would have dropped, I just want to speak briefly on two of the points you would have made. You talk about fixed rates and variable rates, and I do believe that very often, the first-time buyer who's going to buy a property who do not understand this, and they can be hurt because what fixed rate means is that your interest rate can never change because it is fixed. All right. The challenge with this, however, is that the interest rate may be a little higher when the rate is fixed, but you can navigate that. On the flip side of this, when you have variable rates, that can work to your advantage and disadvantage because as interest rates drop, you get a lower rate. But as interest rates increase, you also have to bear the blunt of that. Like right now in the United States of America, interest rate is going through the roof. Of course, it's showing some flexibilities up and down, but because it is going up, guess what? It affects your monthly mortgage. It affects your monthly payment. So if you were accustomed paying, $5,000 at 3% per month, if that interest rate moves to 6%, you don't have to pay $10,000. And this is exactly why Shakira was saying you want to keep the rate fixed and not variable. So that was so wonderfully said, Shakira, Dr. Shakira. Again, I'm so proud of you, taking the time to really, present these quality information to your audience to ensure that first-time buyers, new buyers, they really have the kind of information that they need to make better investment decisions. So, Shakira, I want to thank you so much for that. Dr.
Thank,
Shakira, I want to thank you for that wonderful presentation.
thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. We will now go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we will be looking at self confidence and the sales process. I want to thank Jade and Shakira. They definitely demonstrated a high level of self confidence in how they presented their talking points today. So we'll now take a break and come right back with you. Our sales communication process stands on four important pillars. One, you get to understand the sales process, the communication process, the pull factors of sales communication, and the push factors of sales communication. The success of every business ultimately rests on the shoulder of your sales processes. Business Growth Summit 101 in 2023 will give you the blueprint on how to build and apply this sales communication process to truly optimize the growth and cash flow potential of your business. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis and learn how to apply these practical tools to growing and scaling your brands. Starting a US based business can give you a tremendous competitive advantage. Why? You're able to access a very large market in excess of 333 million consumers. You're able to access technology, and also you're able to access a diversified financial portfolio, meaning debt, equity, credit, creative financing, and hard money lending. We at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have started this signature project titled the Business Growth Summit 101 that will give you a step-by-step guide in terms of how to start a US business, how to scale that US based business, and how to cash flow from a position of strength. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis as we take you through this journey of starting and scaling your business. Okay, welcome back to Business Growth Summit 101. I want to say hats off to Jay Thompson and Dr. Shakira for the excellent presentation that they would have made. And I really trust that you, the audience from various parts of the world, would have enjoyed those two presentations as much as I did. Today, I want us to also look at another important topic. And last week, we started to talk about the importance of the sales communication process. Now, what exactly is the sales communication process? And I want to say we at Pitch Deck 101 LLC and 10X B&M LLC, we have developed this very unique program that we call the sales communication process. This is a process that really gives you the tools, the ammunition, the intelligence to be able to build out sales programs to achieve several objectives. One, the key focus is all about showing you how to add value and how to fix problems and how to increase the business potential to cash flow. On the sales communication process, you learn about the sales process. What is the sales process? You learn about the communication process. What is the communication process? You need to understand this. The success of every business depends on this body of knowledge and your ability to apply this body of knowledge effectively to achieve the desired results. On this platform, you will also learn about the pull factors of sales communication. What exactly is the pull factors of sales communication? Today, I will talk briefly about that to ensure that you have some more clarity about the pull factors of sales communication. You will also learn about the push factors of sales communication. But Jed would have done an excellent job in introducing this content last week and also expanding on this topic. And last week he spoke about the process of commanding attention. And he gave you 10 pointers of ways to command attention. He first spoke about you becoming a subject matter expert. And he went on to talk about a number of other essential skill sets that you need to attain. Among those skill sets that he talked about is self confidence. Now, today I want to talk about mastering self confidence and the sales communication process. Of course, this is the soft skills that you need in sales communication. And the soft skills is equally as important as the hard skills in sales communication. So, under today's heading, I'm talking about mastering self confidence in the sales communication process. And under this heading, we will define three important concepts. We will define what is self confidence, we will define what is subjective self confidence, and we will also define what is objective self confidence. And I want to show you, we're going to be seeing self confidence from different perspectives. And if you're in sales, you need to take the time to really learn, apply, and master this body of knowledge. And I assure you, it will add significantly to your ability to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move your clients into action. So let's begin our conversation today. We are talking, first of all, about a definition of self confidence. What do you take away from the term self confidence? In our context, we are talking about earned knowledge. We are talking about skills mastery. And we are talking about becoming a subject matter expert. Let me talk about this. We believe that you can become self confidence when you invest in earned knowledge, meaning that you are committing time, talent, and resources to earn and keep your earn in the area that you're learning. For example, your earned knowledge can be learning the ins and outs of sales communication because sales communication is vital to every sector of industries and every subsector of industry. In the absence of sale, you are not able to build visibility. In the absence of sales communication, you're not able to reach and make impact. In the absence of sales, you're not able to convert first time users into lifetime customers. In the absence of sales, you're not able to cash flow your operation. So you can make a decision to position yourself to have earned knowledge where you're committing time, talent, and resources to understand this body of knowledge, sales communication process. In fact, the system that I'm giving you is applicable to all skill sets. All right, it's applicable. But today we're talking about the sales communication process. So once you invest the time, the talent, and the resources to become excellent at learning sales communication process, do you become complacent here? Absolutely not. You move to level two. Level two is what we call the skill set mastery. The skill set mastery. Now you have the earned knowledge. You want to be able to become, you know, a, more knowledgeable. You want to master this knowledge where you know it from like the palm of your hands or the back of your hands, you understand this. And of course, the earned knowledge, the skill set mastery is what really helps you to become confident in how you articulate yourself, how you communicate the information. It's much deeper than this, and we're going into it today. So once you get these two levels, earned knowledge, you want to earn the knowledge. This type of knowledge cannot be gifted to you. You have to labor to get this body of knowledge. And then you want to master this knowledge. You want to master the skills. And when you combine these two, it should bring you to that point where you become now a subject matter expert. And there's no way in which you can be a subject matter expert and not be confident about what you're doing because you have labored long enough to earn the knowledge, to master the knowledge, and now you are able to apply yourself as a subject matter expert. So these are three levels of learning that you really want to take that time out to fully understand, learn, apply, and master as you set the stage to build up your self confidence in sales communication. But of course, you would have heard Allure Thompson spoke last week about some other essential tenets of the sales communication process, especially using our design sales communication process. She spoke about the absolute buyer database and how it relates to self confidence. So I want to say this, and I'm going somewhere with this. The absolute buyer data marker, once it is married now to self confidence, you're setting yourself up to win. What is the absolute buyer data? We're saying that if you are going to be selling a product or a service, do you just start the sales process, selling to anyone, anywhere, anyhow? Or do you take the time to understand people, their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations, their needs and their wants and their expectations? Do you take the time to understand people, biodata markers? Do you understand their demographic data, their psychographic data, the geographic data that is informing your sales communication effort? You see, the more knowledge that you have about your potential client's biodata marker, it enhances your self confidence to be able to communicate a value proposition and achieve the highest possible positive response, because you know you've invested time, talent, and resources to understand people needs, wants, their expectation, to understand people based on psychographic drivers, and you are leveraging this body of knowledge to innovate products and services. And then your sales team are going to the market or leveraging the pull factors of sales communication to communicate the value proposition to the ideal client. You can do this with confidence from several standpoints. You know that the value that you're being offered is relevant to your target market needs. And you know that the products or services on offer is either living up to the client's expectation or it is above the client expectation. The last thing that you want to do is to put a product or service to the market and it is below the client expectation. Of course, when you come to our program to learn more about the sales communication process, we really work with you to ensure that your value proposition is always built out to deliver above and beyond the client's expectation. Now, when you combine these two concepts I've just given you, knowledge, skill set mastery, subject matter expert, with the absolute biodata markers, you are now grounded. You are now grounded. And in this grounding, you want to become unshakable. All right. You want to be anchored that before you start your sales process, before you attempt to add value, you're leveraging the absolute biodata. It gives you confidence that what you're offering to the public is something of value. It gives you confidence that you want to be take pride in, because your key focus here is not on cash flow maximization. While there's nothing wrong with cash flow maximization, your key focus here is on putting the customer first. And when you put the client first, it sets the stage where the client now they know you, they like you, they trust you because you've labored day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, consistently delivering quality products and quality service above and beyond their expectation with the highest degree of consistency. So they know you, they like you, they trust you. This is a type of sales communication process that you will be exposed to when you come into our program. You want to bring yourself to this point to be able to do this effectively. Now, there's a few other things that I want to add here. All right, a few other things that I want to add here. So I've given you some idea on we call the definition of confidence in the sales communication process. Now I want to bring you to the second definition. This is definition of subjective self-confidence. Yes, subjective self-confidence. What exactly am I talking about when I say a definition of subjective self-confidence? I want to present to you some facts that have just played out in the United States of America. But before I come to that, let me explain what subjective self-confidence represents. This body of knowledge is saying to you that you may be a subject matter expert that is leveraging subjective self-confidence. Let me repeat this and I'll break it down for you. You may be a subject matter expert that is leveraging subjective self confidence in the information flow. Now, let me explain this. In recent times, the world is fully aware of the FTX saga. All right. The author behind all of this is the Sam Bankman Fried. He had a number of agents behind him. They are subject matter experts, but they were very much involved in leveraging subjective self confidence to pull people in, which cost them millions, billions of dollars. Over 1.2 million persons were affected because subjective self confidence was applied to pull people in. And this subjective self confidence was applied by subject matter experts. You had subject matter experts like Tom Brandy, subject matter experts like Steve Curry, subject matter experts like Shaquille O'Neal, famous basketball players. You even had subject matter experts like Kevin O'Leary, a famous guy in the stock exchange investment market. Great guy behind you know, financial instruments. But because a lot of the information was subjective, you have subject matter expert that can give a subjective opinion, has an expert opinion that can hurt so many people. So these are things that you want to be aware of as you are in sales, because this same principle could have applied where you are listening to a subject matter expert who is given subjective opinions as a subject matter expert, leveraging subjective self confidence and its products and services that you're consuming. So it affects your health, it affects your well being, it affects your life cycle. And these are things you want to be very, very careful of. And that is why we at Pitch Deck 101 LLC, 10X B&M LLC, we focus so heavily on data. All right. We focus heavily on accurate data because when you focus on data, you're now able to optimize the level of the value proposition that you're offering to the people. And my heart cringe for the 1.2 million persons who lost collectively billions of US dollars because we had a group of subject matter experts who were leveraging subjective self confidence to pull them into a process that was not secure. Again, this is why we like to talk about front end analytics and back end analytics. Had adequate due diligence was done at the back end analytics, so many millions of persons definitely would not have been hurt. So moving on, we also have what we call the non-subject matter expert who are able to leverage subjective self-confidence as opinion leader. And these are individuals who may not be subject matter expert, but they are influencers and they may be able to influence public opinion, not based on objectivity, but based on subjectivity. And this, a typical example of this is when someone said, "This is a good product for you." Somebody who might be an influencer said, "This is a good product for you." But at the end of the day, when you use that product, it doesn't give you the desired results that you were expecting. These things do happen. Again, because they are not using biodata. All right. The third concept that I want to talk about, these two category of people, we can put them into a context that we call individual leveraging biases as subject matter expert. Individual biases projected as subject matter as expert opinion. It happens. You have a number of persons who may be subject matter expert or non-subject matter expert whose individual biases is projected on society as an expert opinion. So you need to be watchful of all of this. Our sales communication process ensures that when you're listening to our subject matter expert, we're giving you a high quality of information so you do not fall victim of these type of subjectivity. You do not fall victims of these type of subjectivities. So let's look briefly at some advantages and advantage of the category that I've just looked at here. Defining, which is defining definition of subjective self-confidence. You don't want to be working with a subject matter expert that is flowing in a high level of subjectivity. What are the advantages here? When this happens, is that you have an expert who is a mechanic, and the expert who is a mechanic is saying to you, it is to perform dentistry is similar to the role as a mechanic. And he's suggesting to you that you can go to a mechanic to extract your teeth. I mean, this sounds absurd. It sounds absurd. But I want to say that this is real, largely because we have a wide cross section of people that is not data driven. They are looking at no data analytics. Someone can say something of someone and you buy into it because that someone is an opinion leader. So there, here you have an engineer is telling you that a dentist can do the job as a mechanic, or the mechanic can do the job as a dentist. You have to position yourself to be more objective in how you collect information, how you leverage information to your advantage, especially when it comes to business, especially when it comes to sale. This again is one of the reasons why we train our sales team, we train our clients' sales team to put tremendous emphasis on putting the clients first. You see, when you put the clients first, you do all of that due diligence. You see your fiduciary responsibility, you take it seriously because you're looking into the interests of the consumer first. All right? You're not leveraging any form of manipulation to influence a desired outcome that only serves your interest, but does not serve the interest of the consumer. That's the last thing that you want to do, especially in sales. Because when you leverage this type of sales technique, you may get a first time sale, but you are never able to convert first time users into lifetime customers because you have broken the bond. So there's no like, there's no confidence in what you're doing. You never build credibility in the eyes of the consumers. The last definition I'm going to give here today is a definition of objective self confidence. And this is the one that you really want to swim in. This is the one you want to become. And you want to flow in objective self confidence. And this is the type of sales communication experts that we are nurturing at Pitch Deck 101 LLC and 10X B&M LLC out of America. Now, let me explain this, what exactly this means. Objective sales self confidence. An objective individual, an objective sales communication expert is top notch. They are masters in subjective, they are masters in the whole process of objectivity. They are master objective, they are master subject matter expert. Let me put this back. The individual who is going to be leveraging objective self confidence, they are master subject matter experts. And what do I mean by this? They are lifetime learners. You don't reach a pinnacle of development in your field and you consider yourself, I have arrived. They are lifetime learners. And this is why they are able to become masters. They are not only good at what they are doing, but they now master the sales communication process. So they are now better able to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move that client into action, make impact, convert first time users into lifetime customer, build confidence, trust, and credibility because they take what they are doing serious. They are lifetime learners. They are master subject matter experts. This type of sales communication expert does not subscribe to subjectivity. Don't come to me and talk, say this about this one, and I believe it because I'm objective. I'm able to leverage the absolute buyer data to understand and separate facts from fiction, fallacies from truth. That is what the subject matter expert, the master subject matter expert, is able to do. You're not easily able to influence them any side because they are objective. They are master subject matter expert, and they do not become a master subject matter expert by being influenced by social influences, political influences, all types of influences who may sway stories however they want to sway it. They do things based on facts. And that's the kind of sales communication expert you want to be because you're committed to ensure that you're bringing value to your clients. You put the customer first, you put the clients first. And in this regard, you develop mastery in this process. You are leveraging the absolute buyer data throughout the entire life cycle as a confident sales communication expert. The second concept that I'm going to bring here before I wrap up today's program is what I call the master value propositioner. All right. The subject, the objective self confidence is the individual who is able to become a master value propositioner. And what exactly does this term mean? In my one of my books, I talk about your value proposition has to be built out to have four strategic points of impact. In this particular case, as we talk about the sales communication process, this individual, they are able to master the value proposition in a manner that ensures that the VP, the value proposition, aligns to the target market needs, wants, and expectation. To the target market, you know, it is completely aligned. And the alignment can only take place largely based on the fact that principles and guidelines and standards and systems are in place to deliver your value proposition at the highest level and you attain mastery in this regard. So when this individual says to you, I'm able to help you to research the market. I'm able to help you to identify your ideal client. I'm able to help you to increase your business cash flow. I'm able to help you to scale and integrate your business across region, across the world. They are expert in this field. They understand their value proposition. They understand what they need to do to help you achieve the objective. They're not over promising and under delivering. They understand what they're doing because they have now become objective. They have now rise to the occasion where they have a high degree of mastery in the sales communication process. So they are now able to deliver and deliver above and beyond your expectations. The last concept I'm going to bring to you under this heading, a definition of objective sales self-confidence, is the individual now who is a master at leveraging the absolute buyer data. And I can't emphasize the importance of the buyer data. This type of person take it very serious. To access consumers' buyer data, to leverage up the absolute buyer data to manage this entire process. So their level of confidence is always at the peak because of the fact they have information. Now, let me say this, there's a major difference here between the pull factors of sales communication. All of this and more you will learn in the pull factors of sales communication as against the push factors of sales communication. You see, even when you're leveraging the push factor, you're going and knock on door, you are, doing cold calling, you're leveraging your skill sets to capture impulse buyers. You're going beyond all of this when you understand how to use the absolute buyer data. Can you imagine, as a sales communication expert, you understand your consumers based on demographic data, demographic biodata. You understand your target market based on psychographic biodata. You understand your target market based on geographic biodata. Who is in a greater position to win, the knowledge worker or the guesstimator? The knowledge worker is far more superior in the sales communication process because you understand people's pain point and you innovate products and services based on the consumer pain point. And here you had it. With this, you have confidence. With this, you are able to be liked. You're able to be known. You're able to be trusted by your consumers. And because of this, your sales will be much more superior than the average person in sales gambling with people's interests. So I trust you had enjoyed this body of knowledge today. Today, we cover a number of topics. We looked at credit card fundamentals. So if you missed that, I would encourage you to look back at this program. We are being broadcast right now across a number of social media. We are currently being broadcast on LinkedIn. We are being broadcast on YouTube, and we're being broadcast on Club on Facebook. Look out for us on Wisdom, Clubhouse, Fireside, and a number of other social media that we are going to be bringing this content to you. Today we looked, however, at credit card fundamental that was beautifully presented by Jay Thompson. We also looked at real estate investment. Dr. Shakira gives you a few tips as to how to ensure that you can reduce the high cost of interest associated with acquiring real estate. And also, yours truly, I talked today about mastering self confidence in the sales communication process. And this is something that you want to know how to do this self confidence and the sales communication process. And I give you a number of tips as to how to attain mastery, not just to become an average salesperson, but how to master this person and how to put your clients, your customers first. So, with that being said, I want to encourage you to go to pitchdeck101.org. You have our website there. Navigate that website so you can learn about what we are doing. You can scroll to the bottom of that website. You will see our social media platforms. Follow us on those social media platforms so you will be the first to know when we are bringing these content to you. You can also see the numbers that are scrolling on the screen. You can make contact with us with those numbers. Use the website. There's numbers there to make contact with us. Book your free consultation with us. And remember, we are also giving away $5,000 to anyone who is serious about starting their US based business. That $5,000 US dollars can be used to help you get your business properly registered. It can be used to help you to understand how to access credit at 0% APR. It can be used for you to learn how to apply the sales communication process, as was just discussed with you. it can be used to help you to 10x and leapfrog the growth of your business. So, with that being said, I want to say thanks for those who have joined us, and thanks for those who have been calling us. And we do this again tomorrow. So, I trust you would have enjoyed today's Business Growth Summit 101. See you guys tomorrow. Our sales communication process stands on four important pillars. One, you get to understand the sales process, the communication process, the pull factors of sales communication, and the push factors of sales communication. The success of every business ultimately rests on the shoulder of your sales processes. Business Growth Summit 101 in 2023 will give you the blueprint on how to build and apply this sales communication process to truly optimize the growth and cash flow potential of your business. So, we encourage you to join us on a daily basis and learn how to apply these practical tools to growing and scaling your brands. Starting a US based business can give you a tremendous competitive advantage. Why? You're able to access a very large market in excess of 333 million consumers. You're able to access technology, and also you're able to access a diversified financial portfolio, meaning debt, equity, credit, creative financing, and hard money lending. We at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have started this signature project titled the Business Growth Summit 101 that will give you a step-by-step guide in terms of how to start a US business, how to scale that US based business, and how to cash flow from a position of strength. So we encourage you to join us on a daily basis as we take you through this journey of starting and scaling your business. Recognize that there are right and wrong ways to start your business. One of the things that we see is that there are a number of rising stars in business that start their operation without truly understanding the cost of running a business. It is necessary for you to have a clear picture in terms of what is your cash flow projection, what is the expenditure projection, and more so, what is your cash flow game plan. In the absence of this body of knowledge, you are likely to struggle in business. But there's hope. I'm happy to say that we at Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York, we have built a very unique business ecosystem that enables you to understand the real cost of running your business. So we encourage you to reach out to us now to learn more of the best steps that you can take to win in business.